All right, you're finishing up your chase games today, and I want to go through a number of things. First of all, I still need to see some people's name project as well as the costume and arrows activity. What I'm finding as I'm trying to score things remotely is that I can't see what you've shared. So, two things. Number one, when you send me the link, if you come up here on top, and I'm pointing at that address bar. If you are just copying and pasting this and you see the word editor, I cannot see it. All right? You need to, up here, there's an orange share button. You have to click on that to share it with me. Then I have a chance of seeing it. If you're on the project page, so this is like typically where you would run things, from this spot, it also has a banner on top saying, oh, this project isn't shared. So make sure that you go back and check on your other two projects to make sure those are shared. And you'll be able to tell if you don't see it in the in your grades in Schoology, okay? Now, when we're talking about this game, there are some things that I want to make sure you understand because I'm grading according to what are the directions in these cards. So let's run through these for a second. Left, right, up, and down. Okay, that's the easiest 4 points you can get on this project because you're going to, well, actually, no, picking your sprites and the backgrounds, those are the easiest ones. But programming your arrows, if you want to use WASD, that's fine, but make sure that they make sense. For example, your W should be for going up, all right? Same thing, your up arrow should move your sprite up, down arrow, left and right, okay? So make sure you have that programmed properly, okay? Then, and there's left and right, okay. Next, we got the up and down, here we go. All right, chasing the star. You don't have to have a star to chase, just some kind of object, okay? So I'm gonna look for that. And then honestly, this is the only programming that is going to be on that screen for the object that is gliding. I want you to do this. However, on this piece of the code, it said glide 1 second, and then it says type a smaller number, like a decimal, like 0.5. Put in a decimal here. That will make it more challenging. Your sprite will move more quickly across the screen and make it, a little more challenging to score points, okay? Now, I have another thing that I want to share with you. Let's see, what else have we got? About the score. And I think what I'm going to do now is actually go back to my game on here so that you can kind of see what's happening, okay? When I run my game, here's what happens, okay? I'm making my sound and so on. My score is showing up and working accurately, okay? Great. However, I've seen some where this happens, okay? When the sprite comes in contact, it makes, goodness, but the level goes absolutely crazy when it comes to scoring points. Look, we're already at 50. So notice how this score just runs up rapidly whenever the two sprites make contact, and that is an issue. So the big thing that I want you to do, make sure that you do on yours, okay, to avoid that score racking up way too quickly, is this. Let me zoom the screen in a little bigger here so you can see it. Zoom. Do it this way. All right, so on your main sprite that you are controlling with the arrow keys, when you get into this loop about if touching, okay, and it says change score by 1, will you add in this block that says wait for a certain number of seconds and make it like 0.5 seconds? What that does is it only scores 1 point while they're in contact, and then it waits, and hopefully things have moved along, so you aren't getting the constant adding of points while the two are kind of passing each other, all right? Because that just gets a little too wild. So the big thing is, on the glide part for your sprite that's gliding, make that a decimal. and then add this wait 0.5 seconds in this loop that has the change score. Now, if you're having trouble with your score appearing, I don't know if this was very clear necessarily in the directions, but when you go into the variable part of the menu, there is a checkbox here next to the variable score. It has to be clicked in order for it to show up on the screen. I think most of them that I've seen so far have not had that trouble, but just to make sure you have that, okay? So going back and looking at the cards, all right, you're making sure that the score is working. Then about the level up, make sure it switches a backdrop and then follow these instructions to get some kind of victory message to show up on the screen. Okay? If you follow the cards, it kind of walks you through everything. And then, by all means, be sure to perhaps have someone sitting next to you give it a try and see if there's anything glitchy about it or anything else you need to do. All right? So, for today, number one, any missing work, okay? The name animation, the costumes and arrows, you need to make sure that you've shared those with me on Scratch. Then, as you're finishing the name game, big thing, put in a decimal on the glide for the sprite that's moving. Then put in a wait for 0.5 seconds in that loop where you add 1 point to the score. And then double check. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention is on your sprites. So on mine, it's a shark that is what I'm controlling. Go into the size and make it less than 100%. Let's make it a little more challenging. Same thing with your object that is floating around. Mine is a star. Make sure on the size, make it less than 100%. I mean, unless it's really tiny already. But we want to make this game a lot more challenging. If your sprites are really big, they're going to come in contact easily and make your score go up without a lot of effort. Okay? So, scores, glide, wait a few seconds when you're adding the point, and then just making sure everything else is working according to the cards. All right? Good luck and share them with me when you've got things ready.